Hello friends, I'm so glad you could join me today. I am documenting my journey on becoming debt-free again, so welcome to Second Chance Budgeting. I'll be exploring cash stuffing and unstuffing, finding ways to increase my income, and saving towards some big goals, all digging myself out of debt once again. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you join me during my adventures. So today I'm doing my debt confession for the second time around. Just to give you a little bit of a background from the first time I got out of debt. My first debt journey involved paying off a lot of student loan debt and a vehicle loan. If I can manage to find all my old paperwork and my progress from my first journey around, if you guys are interested, I will show you how I did that the first time. The reason we're here today, though, is not to talk about that, but to focus on why I'm in debt the second time. I have done this video multiple times, not knowing the best way to talk about it. So you might see some jump cuts as well, just because this kind of is a difficult topic for me, as I'm sure any debt confession is. That's not a very comfortable feeling. It's definitely a difficult thing to talk about. But basically, the reason I am in debt the second time around is I have vehicle loan for the second time, and I also have a bunch of medical debt. So let's talk about the vehicle loan. 3 years ago, I was coming to do a side hustle that I had. It was winter, and I ended up getting into a car accident. Luckily, I was okay. Nothing was wrong with me, but at the time, my car was completely totaled. So I had to, because I just didn't have anything in place, even though I had been saving some money towards a second vehicle, just because my vehicle was an older car. I knew it was kind of coming, but on the other hand, I had already put on brand new brakes, brand new tires. It was ready. I felt like I had done everything I could to prepare for wintertime, but black ice happens. That's just a reality of life in Colorado. So I did manage to use what savings I had and the very little amount that they gave me for insurance as my down payment. So my vehicle debt that I do still currently have is $6,788.94. So I asked myself this question quite a bit, how could I have done things differently to keep myself out of debt? And the answer is, I don't really know, other than completely saving for a brand new vehicle. At the time I had the accident, I was pretty shaken up. So I knew I needed to get a reliable vehicle. I just didn't have a lot of time at the moment to search around for different vehicles and stuff. So I ended up going to a car dealership, purchasing a vehicle that same day. But that's the reality. So I do have a vehicle loan debt. The second reason I'm in debt for the second time is some medical issues that I had. And this is where it's a little bit difficult to speak about all of that. But basically, I was having some issues. I had been going to doctors. They couldn't really figure out what was wrong. They kept wanting me to go take this test, go take that test. And basically that resulted in an emergency room visit. I had to get I was pretty anemic. I had to get some blood transfusions, and they did some further testing. And so when they came back with that testing, they gave me the big C word, which is cancer. So as you can imagine, I was pretty broken up about it. It was pretty hard. Not gonna lie. Sorry for the emotion, but I I don't really want to say what kind of cancer or anything like that, but basically I searched for a surgeon that could operate on me. So as part of that process, when they were in surgery, like one of the things that he said is that he would have that tissue would go immediately to a pathologist to see if it was really cancerous, because when I met with the surgeon, he wasn't really convinced, even though blood tests had said that definitely had cancer markers. He wasn't really convinced that I had cancer. So thankfully, after the surgery, when the pathologist did all their testing, I did not have cancer. So thankfully everything is okay, like, and this is where the name of my channel comes back into play, because I feel like I really was given a second chance. So very grateful for all of that. But as you can see, that resulted in a lot of medical debt for me. Now, it's not as bad as it could have been. Even though I have medical debt, I can just say it could have been a lot worse. It definitely could have been a lot worse. So I thank you for listening to all of that. I'm very sorry for getting emotional, but it's still pretty raw when I think about it. But thank you for sticking through that explanation. Okay, so I'm gonna just briefly show you what debts that I still have outstanding, and kind of where they are at this point in time. So I did have some radiology tests, and the beginning balance of that one was $185.85. I just ended up paying that one off completely. For my surgery stay, my anesthesia bill came out to $639.40, and I am making payments on that one as well. A lot of these, like, I'm just having to make monthly payments. You know, I've asked myself as well, like, how could I have avoided this? And I don't know that I could have really avoided this. You know, thankfully I did have some money saved, so that definitely helped me in the months that I had to recover. So most of my emergency savings at the time went to those living expenses, because it took me several months to get back on my feet. I was not able to work, and even before my medical emergency, I was working part-time just because due to like just no energy at all and just feeling sick all the time and not really being able to eat. I wasn't able to work as much as I normally would, which was hard for me, definitely hard for me. But thankfully, because of some of the habits that were there from my first time around, getting out of debt and learning good money habits, you know, that savings did really help me during that time. It just didn't help necessarily pay off all the medical bills that I had. So, all right. The next one I had is the balance of my ER visit. This is just for seeing the doctor. And so $985 for that one. And then my balance for my surgeon is $2,438.84. And then my last debt is my balance of my hospital visit. So that is $4,139.27. So my beginning balances on all these debts as of the beginning of January, which is kind of when I went and looked at my numbers. So that total is $15,177.30. So the difficulty in some of my medical bills, though, I will say, is I have one bill that to this day I have still really not seen an actual bill from them, I've seen a lot of paperwork, I've seen a lot of things. I got this number basically from like a website that you log into to pay your bill. But when I called in and talked to them, because for whatever reason that provider closed the website down, because I think they were going through like some third-party payment system, something like that. So when I called in and asked them about, why I wasn't able to log on to this portal, they actually gave me a different number. So I'm still really not certain. I'm making payments at the moment, but I'm still really not that certain on how much that bill is actually going to be. So that's the difficult part. And I feel out of my element here because it's just like not in black and white. Like before I could like log in to student loan debt and know like day by day, like I could see that balance come down. I could know exactly how much I was going to be able to pay in interest. It's just not as clear on this medical debt. So it's kind of a learning process for me. It's been kind of a little bit of a frustrating one as well, but so that's where we're starting with for medical debt. I am probably going to be starting a series every month to kind of give an update on where we are in that debt process. I will say, I did want to show you this one because when I do my cash stuffings, I typically don't even show my vehicle loan. I consider it one of my bills. So I always take money out of my paychecks to pay my bills, which I don't stuff any of my bills in my cash stuffings. I only stuff my food, gas, and other, and then sinking funds. So this one, you'll see the balance going down, but because I just consider it a bill, I'm really not focusing on it at the moment. I think that right now I want to focus on paying off the medical debt first, but this may change. I'm still trying to figure that out. And the question in my mind is, I've got medical debt. They're allowing me to make payments on it, except for one of them is a little bit salty with me about having to make payments. So I'm still trying to figure out if I want to pay the medical ones first and then go to the vehicle loan, or pay the vehicle loan, focus on that one. So I'm still trying to figure out my order of payment. Right now, I'm just currently paying the minimums on them, and then extra debt I've kind of been allocating towards the one that I feel like needs it the most, if that makes sense. That is kind of my explanation of where we are this second time around. I will say that in spite of this debt, like I feel like it's very doable. I feel like I know what needs to be done in order to get working on it. So I definitely know like I can do it. It's just going to be a matter of time and getting back on my feet. So thank you so much for listening. If you've stuck around this whole time, I really appreciate it. Really thank you for listening. So if you have any comments or questions for me, please leave them down below, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.